right, start right here, Rob.
Well, this is part of an incomplete kit, obviously, because the hull is over there. But this is the 200 scale Trumpeter Bismarck, second in a series of 9 ships they've done so far. And it's I don't know if you guys ever heard or read any reviews on these models at all, other than the fact that they're very, very expensive, is that they are probably the best models of any kind of ship models you can get. The fit is absolutely tremendous. The forward clipper bow on that ship is the only separate part of the hull, which is in 2 halves.
Okay, Dave, stand next to the box so we can see how long the box
And
is.
the
What, you want me to take the peanuts out, you said, what?
That'll be edited out.
and
Good thing you put that disclaimer up for that
That's
one.
right.
That's what I heard him say, I'm sorry.
anyway, that part of the clipper bow there is the only separate piece from the one-piece hull, and it's glued straight on with absolutely no putty of any kind used. And I defy anybody to find a seam on that thing. It's just that they're that good. Wow. Anyway, the kit is broken down here into all the different boxes that they come in, and it's got lots of photo etch. This particular one comes with 10 sheets of photo etch. And again, the Trumpeter photo etch is as good, if not better, than the Edward stuff. It also includes metal barrels for the turrets, and metal shafts, and for the prop shafts, and the props are metal. What else can I say about it? Some of the clear parts that are used on here for the see-through things are absolutely fabulous. So it's just, I'll give you an idea. Here are the metal barrels. Wow. And here's the clear upper turret piece. Now this is an option. I mean, you get the 4 regular turrets as well.
Oh, look at the rest of clear sides.
Oh yeah. So this is a complete standalone kit that comes with it. And so far, of the 9 ships they've done, this is the only one they've done this to, which is kind of sad.
16 millimeter barrels or something?
What are you talking about?
The guns, the main guns. 16 something shell?
You mean the real ones?
Yeah.
15-inch guns.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
15, okay.
Yeah.
Because my Yamato up there has got, had 18.1.
So this, I'll give you an idea about that. And you just brought up a very interesting point. This book was just released this year, and by many modelers online are calling this thing the Bismarck Bible, because it answers all the controversy about what happened to the Bismarck, how it was sunk, and such and such.
Right.
They have proved without a shadow of a doubt that none of the 6 torpedoes that were hit, that were fired on it by the Dorsetshire, penetrated her armor hull.
Right.
In fact, they now prove that besides the damage to the ship that was done by the other battleships that fired upon it, the Germans actually opened up the seacocks and flooded it and sank it, scuttled it. Yeah. Which they also did, by the way, to the Scharnhorst when she fought against the Duke of York.
Okay.
And one of the reasons they explain in this book is that Krupp steel at the time was the state-of-the-art armor plate that was used on ships. Her foot to 13-inch thick armor could withstand the rounds fired from as far as 4 to 16 miles, and it would not penetrate. And that was twice the armor penetration strength of any other ship that was ever used in the war. So even the Yamato's armor was not as good as the Bismarck's armor. Her deck armor was superior to anything that the Americans or the German or the British had. She was really an amazing ship. Another thing I never realized before after reading this book is that during her escapade there, I thought that she was finally caught by the Prince of Wales, the King George V and the Rodney, and the 2 battleships were the ones that pretty much slugged it out with the Bismarck. Turns out the Prince of Wales, which was badly damaged after the hood was sunk, also pursued her and still had 1 good turret and was lobbing 14-inch shells at her at the same time. Both the 8-inch gun cruisers Suffolk and Norfolk were doing this, and the 6-inch gun cruiser Dorsetshire were doing this. I mean, all of these, 8, 9 ships were pummeling her all at the same time, which was really amazing. And she withstood. And on top of that, of course, you know that the swordfish
Yeah.
torpedo hit in the rudder.
Right.
Damaged her rudder so badly that the only way they can keep the ship straight was to travel at less than 10 knots.
Right.
So she was really a sitting duck.
Yeah.
And yet she really was,
Yeah,
she withstood.
Spun in, like, almost in a circle, too.
Yeah, for a while. And then,
Because of the damage of the
right,
rudder.
but they were able to keep her straight and sailing straight, but she had to sail at less than 10 knots.
Makes you
So-
wonder how much havoc they could have wreaked if they had sent the Scharnhorst, or excuse me, the Turbines and the Bismarck out together.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting, all the possibilities that could have happened. And of course, historically, she failed her mission because her mission was to sink convoys.
Right.
Yeah.
Prince Eugen survived only to be,
Yeah, she was blown up at Bikini. Well, actually sank at Bikini, yeah. Well, if we want to move over to the hull there, I can go ahead and finish up by talking about the hull here. What I'm trying to do here is to, oh, by the way, all the markings that you saw in the book there, the black and white stripes and all those other lines, the false bow, the bow wave and all that, those were markings that she had during her Balkan trials. Before she left to go on her maiden voyage in the North Atlantic, they coated her with a coat of light ghost gray, which is what I have done here. I have to put a second coat on it because the black and white stripes are actually sticking out a little bit too far. Also, where the swastikas on deck were, they actually had them covered with gray canvas during the battle. But a lot of books talk about how they were painted out. They were never painted out.
Yeah, she sunk that way too.
Right. When you see the Ballard book and shows the color photographs of her wreck down below, you can still make out the red and the white and black of the swastika bands on her bow and stern. All right. The model is painted, of course, with Model Masters enamel paint, all done by hand. The waterline red is the German cocoa red brown, which what was it? The tins. Humboldt, thank you. Does a what's called cocoa brown, which is the exact shade. I had a tin of it, but I didn't have enough of it, so I mixed the two different reds and a brown to get that shade for the lower hull. The sides are all done in straight Model Masters colors. The deck wash is done basically using two different tans and a brown, and then washing everything with a dirty thinner to give it that worn look.
And there was, I think, one hit up here that didn't do anything, and then the swordfish hit was right about here.
Actually, according to that
Yeah.
book, she was hit by 6 hits from the 2 swordfish attacks.
Yeah.
Right.
And none of them did anything but the rudder hit.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, that is a great fitting.
Isn't it great? I mean,
Yeah.
this, by the way, these two upper pieces are separate from the deck. The deck is separate from the hull, obviously.
Yeah.
And the seam line on this thing is absolutely superb. If you get a chance to go online and look at some of the builds that they have, some of the guys have done the Iowa-class battleships that are made in this scale by Trumpeter. I'm going to start on the Trumpeter USS Hornet in 200 scale, fully equipped with 16 B-25s and setting it up for the 18th of April for a project I'm doing for the museum that I work at. So,
Yeah, the one up north.
yeah. And to give you a dimension of size, the Bismarck was 833 feet long. I'm sure you guys have seen my 200 scale model of the Arizona. I brought it in here a couple of times.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Probably
she's
about
about there.
Yeah.
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 And the Iowa class battleships are about this long.
Yeah.
The Hornet is about a good 8 inches longer than this. I mean, they're just tremendous. The hood was actually larger than the Bismarck in length only. She's much narrower, though. She's only about that wide.
Like
Future.
1 inch armor, I think, or something like that. It was really pathetic.
Well, her side armor was
yeah.
actually quite good. It's
Yeah.
just her deck armor
Yeah,
was
'cause
pathetic.
it
Yeah.
went like this when
Yeah.
it hit.
Well, she was a battle cruiser, and that's what they
Right,
were designed to
right.
do. They sacrificed armor for speed.
Right.
Future endeavors that Trumpeter has announced they're going to do is there is a rumor that they're going to do a Yamato or a Musashi in this scale.
Which will be larger.
Yeah.
Probably going to be about this long.
No, it is not. Actually, the Iowa class battleships were 28 feet longer than the Yamato. What the Yamato had was width, height,
Yeah.
and girth.
That's 1250 over
Yep.
there. I know,
Yep.
little teeny weeny.
Yep. And also, the powder that the Japanese used in their gun shells was inferior to both the American, the British, and the Germans. So their 18-inch rounds were not more powerful than the 16-inch rounds fired by the American ships.
Yeah.
They were just larger. And they can travel further, but their penetration power was not superior. Also, and their aiming was horribly off because it was all optical.
Yeah.
Whereas, as you know, the American ships all had computers
Radar.
and radar to fire over
yeah.
the horizon. Well, as you know, I don't know if you've met, but the big battle that the Yamato and the Musashi were involved, they did poorly. They really did poorly. They fired, I mean, the Yamato alone fired over 200 rounds at the, what's the escort carrier that she sank? No.
No. Let's see, there was one called Amani Bay. And there-
Gambia Bay.
Gambia Bay, okay.
Yeah. They fired over 200 rounds at the Gambia Bay with her 18-inch guns and only scored 3 hits.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. Anyway, like I said, other future endeavors that they're going to do is, like I said, the Yamato. They're also going to do a USS Enterprise CV-6, possibly an Essex-class carrier in this scale. As far as battleships go, I think they're going to do either a KG-5 or a King George V, KG-5, or the Prince of Wales. They already do the Rodney and the Nelson, which are the strangest looking battleships I've ever seen, and they're pretty cool though.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get the Rodney. They
They've got
just released the hood.
They've got the 3 mounts up front and a single
Yeah.
in the back, which is
Nothing in the
totally
back.
bizarre.
It's just 3 turrets in the front, nothing in the
I
back.
thought- That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three triple deck, 16-inch guns, which actually they were the only 16-inch guns the British had. They're both and they were also the thickest armored battleships that the British had. The only problem was that their maneuverability was hideous. It took a lot for them to turn because all their weight was up front.
Trying to swing that weight is tough.
3 guns up front, nothing. in
3
the
gun
rear.
turrets,
Yeah,
3 gun
yeah.
turret, 3 triple mounts up front.
They had a lot of monitors too.
think
They
about
had
it.
a single turret up front and nothing in the back as
The
well.
best tactic when battleship to battleship is to fight is
Just
going
go
back.
head on.
It's
Yeah.
crossing the T.
Crossing
That's
the
right.
T,
Yep.
Because
exactly.
the advantage
Yeah.
is that the ship here can't fire all of its
Yeah.
weapons at
Right.
you, unless it's
These,
the Rodney
these guns
or
can
the,
go like this.
or the Nelson.
And,
It could.
Yeah, like that.
That was the reason why Jackie Fisher actually was involved in the design of those 2 ships. Although he died long before the ships were actually laid down, but that was actually his theory, and they put it into practice, and it worked quite well.
Well, that's, like during the Revolutionary War and whatnot, when you had sailing ships crossing the T also, but you would rake them
Yeah,
across, and they couldn't bear their guns on you.
exactly.
Right.
Any questions?
Man, that's impressive.
Uh,
How much does it weigh,
Does
Rob?
the sub
Pick it
go,
up, it's light.
Does the
It's
sub go
thin.
along with it?
No,
yeah, it's very light.
that is not mine.
Okay.
And I'm not saying anything about that. That
Okay.
is Ralph.
Okay.
He's gonna.
All right.
You guys are in for a
Ralph
treat.
put it up there for scale?
Yeah, because
Kinda,
it's
sorta.
it's
Is
it's
that
the
a-
same scale.
Is that a Type 7 submarine, Ralph?